Hello students, in this program we calculate average age of some people. The purpose of the program is as follows. Write a program to calculate the average age of a group of people. Data already given is a dictionary with names as keys and ages as value. This is the dictionary given. There are names of few people like Anil, Sahil, Deepak, Sharad and Naresh, and these names are given as keys of the dictionary ages, and their ages are given as values. Like Anil has age 55, Sahil is 18, Deepak is 36, and so on. Now, before going further in this video, you can pause here and try to find how this program can be done. Before the program, we uh, we should consider this a small strategy that when we want to find average of some quantities or some items, we need sum. To find sum, what we do is we take a variable. We will take a variable and maybe it will be named a total or anything which you like. Then we will initialize this variable with 0. First of all, we will put the value 0 in this variable total, and then add all the items for which we are trying to find the average one by one to this variable. Okay, one by one all the items will be added to this variable total, and this will give us the sum of the items. And in the second step, we will divide the sum by number of items to get the average. Okay, so this is the strategy that this we have done already many times in previous programs. So let's see the program now. This program uh, this program uses a function which is named sum of list. Okay, which takes a single argument which is named list, which is supposed to be a sequence, which may be actually a list or a tuple or any sequence. It will find the sum of the items in the list or any tuple or anything. Now this function sum of list was already discussed in an earlier example, in which we found in which we prepared the mark sheet from some dictionaries of marks of students. This function has already been discussed, so it is an important function. It is a simple one but important one, so let's see it once again. So the items for which the average is to be calculated is provided to this function in the form of argument lst, which stands for list. So as just discussed, we create a variable named total as a first step, and now we want to add all the items in this list one by one to this variable total. How do we do this? We use a loop over this list to do that. The loop is for I in list, lst, for I in list. Now what this loop does is that it assigns all the items of list one by one to this loop variable I. Okay, so this is the working of this loop. Now what do we do in this loop? What we do is just add the item I, which is inside this loop variable, to this variable total, which we initialized here to 0. Okay, so what will happen in this loop is that all the items of the list will be assigned one by one to I, and that value of I will be added to the variable total. Note here that we have used the operator plus equal to. This plus equal to operator makes sure that whatever is the result of the addition is put again into this variable total only. So the value of total gets incremented as the result of the addition. After that loop, all the items have been added to this variable total, and the total now has the sum of the items in the list, so we return this variable. Next, this is our main program. We will be using this function sum of list in this main program. In this main program, as we discussed a little while ago, that the ages of some people are given in the form of a dictionary. The names of the people are provided as keys, and their ages are given as the values associated with those keys. So here we have named this dictionary as ages. Now what we need is to find the sum of the ages. We are not interested in the names of the people, we only want to know the ages. So since ages are given as values in this dictionary, what we do is use the values function. Okay, we know that the values function, what it does is returns a sequence of values of the dictionary. Okay, so the ages 55, 18, 36, 38 and 35 will be returned by this values function in a sequence. A sequence is similar to list but not exactly a list, but we can make a list out of this, and that we do using this list function. Okay, you can notice that we have written this thing ages.values function inside the list function. Okay, inside the brackets of the list function. So whatever is returned by this values function for the ages dictionary is being supplied to this list function. And what this list function does is it prepares the list and returns it. And what we do with that list is that we save it as a variable named age list. Okay, now what we do next, you should also note that the name of the dictionary is ages, and how we use this function. This notation is also important. You must notice that we have written the name of the dictionary followed by a dot, and then we have written the name of the function. Okay, so always remember this notation that the functions available with dictionary or any other object for that matter is called in this manner only, that you have to write the name of the object followed by dot, and then name of the function is to be written, and that is how you call the function which is available with an object. Next thing is that now since we have the ages in the form of a list, now we pass this list, age list, as an argument to this function sum of list. Okay, we have already discussed this function sum of list, and we are calling this function now and passing the age list as an argument to it. Okay, and what this function does is that it returns the sum of all the ages in this list, and this sum is being assigned to a variable named total. Now you should notice once again, with this thing we have already discussed in many earlier programs, but you should notice once again that we have used a variable named total in the main program. So this is the main program. We have used a variable named total, and at the same time we have used another variable named total in the function sum of list also. Okay, so it is completely valid to use two variables of the same name or same identifier in two different parts of a program. Here the different parts are, one is the function and another is the main program, because all the identifiers of the variables of this function are kept separately in the memory, and their scope is different, and all the variables in the main program are kept separately in memory and their scope is different. So these two variables, although they have the same name, have nothing to do with each other, and they do not clash, and no confusion arises. Okay, so what we do is that the sum of the ages which is returned by the sum of list function is being stored in the variable total. Now what we do is to calculate the average of the ages. Okay, now we see this statement average age. We are creating a variable by name avg underscore age, which stands for average age, and we get it by dividing this total value by the length of age list. Okay, obviously this is the formula for finding the average. You have to divide the sum of the items by the number of items, and the number of items will be returned by this length function. We are using the length function on age list, and this will give the number of ages that were summed to find the variable totals value. So in this way we calculate the average age. Next, finally, we just need to print on screen the output of the program. This we do as printing the average age of the group. See, this is enclosed in quotes, so this is a string. This string is printed, and then we print the value of avg age, that stores the average age of the group of people originally given. So that's all about this program. Thank you.